What's up, guys? Everybody knows that working out is good for you and that we all need exercise. We all need movement in our lives. But what a lot of people don't know is that too much exercise, and even exercise in general, if you're out of balance, can be a stress on the system. In fact, working out by nature is a stress on the body because it takes more energy out of your body than what you're actually gaining back from doing whatever workout that you're doing. And that's, pretty obvious, even though most people don't think of it that way. But obviously you go to the gym and you work out and you feel tired afterwards and you feel like you need to go recover and eat and rest and sleep so that you can repair, so that you can go and work out again. And for the most part, that's a good thing to do. We need a certain amount of stress so that our bodies have a stimulus to grow and adapt and get stronger. That's why you get stronger when you work out, ideally, is because you're providing a stress, you're providing a stimulus that's actually breaking you down a little bit so that you can build back up if you're giving yourself the right resources and the proper amount of time. But what tends to happen with a lot of athletes is we fall into this idea that if a little of something is good, then a lot of something is even better. And so we tend to keep trying to push ourselves to work out more and more and work out harder and harder and harder. And we ultimately get to the point where we're breaking ourselves down faster than our ability to build ourselves back up. And this is where you lead to, overtraining and chronic fatigue, or you get injured, or you just have poor performance and you're not making the progress that you want to be making. But there is a solution for that. And it's actually the opposite of working out, and it's called working in. So if working out is doing something that's taking more energy out of your body than it is giving it by doing the movement, then working in is the opposite, in that you're actually gaining more energy doing the movement than you are by doing the movement itself. So as an example, if you're doing a squat and you're adding load and maybe you're doing sets of 10 and you're pushing yourself to close to failure or failure, you're breaking yourself down. That squat movement is then a workout because you're expending more energy than you're gaining by doing the movement. But if you take that same movement, if you take the squat and you wanted to turn it into a work in, then there's a few fundamental things that transform it into a work in versus a workout. The first thing is that your breathing rate shouldn't speed up. The second thing is that your heart rate shouldn't increase. Third is that your tongue shouldn't dry out, which would mean that you're exerting energy. And the fourth would be that you should be able to do this on a full stomach, and it should actually feel good to do on a full stomach. And the fifth thing would be that you want to time the movement with the breath. And this is a key principle when it comes to working in, is that anytime that you're moving closer to the fetal position, anytime that you're contracting, you're pronating, internally rotating like a squat as you descend in the squat, then that should be coupled with exhalation. Anytime that you're expanding, externally rotating, moving, getting bigger, that should be coupled with inhalation. An easy way to think about this is if you take a big breath, usually you feel bigger and you feel taller. If you let a lot of air out, naturally you feel yourself contract and move closer and closer to the fetal position. So when it comes to a squat, if we're taking all of these principles to turn the squat into a workout or work in, then as I descend, remember I'm going to time the movement with the breath, and I'm going to slow it down enough so that my heart rate isn't increasing, my breathing rate isn't increasing, and my tongue isn't drying out. So what it'll look like, I'm not sure if I might get out of the camera frame for a second here, but I'm going to take a big breath at the top, and then as I descend, I'm going to exhale. And then I'm going to inhale back up. Exhale back down. Inhale back up. And notice how when you're doing a work-in exercise, you don't have to be as concerned with the aesthetics of the movement or the form or how deep you're going or things that you might normally be concerned about if you're adding load to the movement. It really should just be what feels comfortable and natural to you. So if it's a squat, then maybe that only looks like a quarter squat or a half squat, or maybe it's just isolated to your upper body. It's really what's going to feel good to you, as long as you're following those principles. Your heart rate isn't increasing, your breathing rate isn't increasing, you're timing the breath with the movement, you're inhaling and exhaling in the right pattern, then you can do it however you want. And this applies across the board to whatever movement that you're doing. A really simple one that I like to incorporate is called the energy push, where essentially all you're doing is you're going to start out here, you're going to inhale the energy in, you'll exhale the energy out. And you'll want to do this for at least 10 to 15 minutes, ideally up to 20 minutes. And that would be enough time to get the benefits of the movement. And like I said, you can do this with anything. You can do it like the energy push, you can do a squat, you can even do a hinge pattern. If you look at the book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy by Paul Chek, he gives you a lot of different choices to choose from. And you can even boil it down into what areas of your body need further assistance. And he calls them different zones, or they're also correlated with the different chakras in your body. So depending on what kind of imbalances you're experiencing, or what organs you might be having trouble with, or what injuries you might be recovering from, you can use these different work-in exercises to bring more energy in and speed up the overall recovery process. So I hope this helps. I hope you can see the difference and why it's important to include working in just as much as you're focusing on working out, because you need to have a balance. Because if you're doing too much working out and not enough working in, then you're going to overly tax your ability to recover, and ultimately your progress is going to slow down or come to a halt, or you might even get sick or injured. So if you have any further questions about this, feel free to drop a comment and reach out to me, and I'd love to answer your questions or make more videos that can provide you additional support in this area. And make sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share, turn on your notifications, do all the things. So we're going to be bringing more and more content to you guys here soon. Talk to you next time.